بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. ما بعد، اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. We continue our discussion on the book مجالس Ramadan by Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala, and we're still in the chapter where the Sheikh is discussing the categories of people as related to Ramadan. Different categories of people as related to Ramadan, and the Sheikh mentioned that there are 10 categories of people as related to Ramadan. The first category of people, we spoke of,
fasting is obligatory.
those that are obligatory for them to fast in Ramadan. There's some people it's obligatory for them to fast in Ramadan. And the Sheikh mentioned that if a person meets 5 conditions, it means that this person has to fast in Ramadan. And what are the 5 conditions?
He has to be a Muslim.
He has to be a Muslim, okay. Bulugh, naam. Aqal, okay, yes.
And then able to.
Able to. And one more.
Resident.
Mustaqim, yeah, muqim. Al-muqim, yeah, that is residing. You know, if a person meets 5 conditions, and able to, meaning that there's something preventing him. That's part of able to, meaning that there's nothing preventing him from fasting. So if a person meets 5 conditions, then it's obligatory upon them to fast. So that's the first category. The second category is what?
A child before they reach the age of puberty.
So the second category is a child before reaching of puberty. Now, so what did the Sheikh say about that? What did we say about that yesterday?
Well, there's 4 conditions, or if it's...
Now, before we get to the condition, right? What did you say about a child fasting?
It's not obligatory for them to fast,
Mm-hmm.
but the parents should command them to fast so that when they grow older, it will be more easier for them.
Nah. The parents should encourage the children to fast. And even if they can't fast the entire day, the parents should make efforts to get the children used to fasting, so that by the time they get to the age of puberty, they can start fasting. Right? The Sheikh mentioned that there are many parents that they're negligent when it comes to that. They say that they don't want to, they are merciful to their children. They don't want to put the burden upon them. Now people find out that when the child gets to that age, they don't want to fast because they have not been trained to get you fasting. Now the Sheikh now mentioned the categories. What are the condition? How do we know a child reaches the age of puberty? What did we mention about that?
The discharge of semen for men, and then you have menstruation for women.
Okay, there's more to that.
Pubic hair.
Huh? Pubic hair is one now. Pubic hair is one of them. The second is wet dreams. The second one. The third is what?
Reaching the age of 15.
15. It's a very reach for 15. So this is for 3. And the 4 is for girls. Which is what? Menstruation. So that's the 4 the Sheikh mentioned that now. So now, what's the third one? What's the third category?
A crazy person.
A person who is insane. Right? We don't mean that insane in the sense of the way people use that. He's crazy. And he's not crazy. I mean, a person who's really crazy doesn't understand anything, right? And what do we say about that?
Well, it's not.
It cannot fast. Yes, we've been. It's not. As the Hadith Prophet mentioned, رفع قلم عن 3 النائم حتى يستيقظ ولا صغير حتى يكبر والنائم والمجنون حتى يفيق. So those are the 3, right? So now, the Sheikh mentioned that if it's a person who is crazy sometimes and is well sometimes, the days that he's crazy is not obligatory upon him, but the days that he's well is upon him to fast in those days. Because you have people like that, some people like that, right? They're good on some days, and they're not well on other days. And the Sheikh also mentioned that if a person, if during the day at the beginning, if that person that has issue sanity issue, if he fasts in the morning and during the afternoon he start having issues, this is siyam, is fasting still correct? That is still correct in that regard. But if he started the day where he's not in good, it's not well in the beginning, during the beginning of the day, he doesn't have no fasting, and he does not have to make those days that he missed. He doesn't have to make those days up. Type. So what else? What did we mention?
An old person.
An old person. Okay. And what do we say about that?
That people who are an old person who is senile,
Uh-huh.
they're not commanded to fast. Like,
They're not coming to fast.
well, no, well,
Ah.
what's the right word? Like,
Uh,
okay, on that. I don't see those senile.
An old person. That's the fourth category.
An old person, if he's very old and he doesn't like have the strength to carry on with Ramadan,
Uh-huh.
can actually be feeding or
Nah. He has to feed every single day. You have to feed a poor person, right? Or it may not be that he doesn't have the ability, but he may be just sick as well. We're going to get to that as well too, where a person is sick, right? Old or sickness, if a person is not able to, then if the whole person is sick, right? If the issue with the whole person is sick and he cannot fast, he feeds a person. But if he just he doesn't have the ability, or she doesn't have the ability to fast, an old person who doesn't have the ability to fast, then every single day they feed a poor person. And if they're senile, if their ability, their old person is due to not having understanding, because you have some people, they're so old, but they may be physically able to fast, but their issue is more like a crazy person. That takes the ruling of a person who's crazy as well too. Now, then, okay, then the fifth category, al-ajiz and siyam ajzan mustamiran la yurja zawaluhu. The person who is not able to fast, and this inability is long term, meaning that he can't come back from that, right? The Sheikh says the same ruling, right? For every single day, he has to feed a person. Now, and we spoke about type. So we spoke about the a person who is traveling is where we spoke about a person who is sick, right? We spoke about a person who is sick, but the sickness is, a person can recover from the sickness. Meaning a person is sick, but the sickness is not long term. What did the Sheikh say about that? What do you remember saying about that? You remember?
Yeah, that
A person who's sick.
he has to make up the days after Ramadan.
He has to make the days after Ramadan. Nah, that's one. But the Sheikh also mentioned that a person's sickness that a person is expected to recover from it is 4 to 3 categories. A person who is sick, but the sickness is difficult upon him, or is not difficult upon him, and it will not harm him. We mentioned that. Yeah. A person can be sick. A person have a cold, for example, during Ramadan. If he fast, either that cold is going to make things even worse for him, or it's going to harm him by him fasting. If it's not difficult upon him, and if it's not going to harm him, it's mentioned that he has to fast. I'll ask Allah to protect him from getting sick. I mean, a person who's sick, Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so the first one, someone that is fasting, maybe he now slept off during the day
Mm-hmm.
and he woke up having wet dream.
Right.
Does the person still have his fast or the fast has break?
It's fast. Too. It has his fast.
Okay.
It's just
So
no.
maybe someone is sick,
Right.
some medication before Ramadan,
Right.
or just take 2 tablets in the morning, 2 tablets in the afternoon, 2 tablets in the evening.
No.
He's physically fit, mentally fit, everything is fit, but he just wants to be on those medication.
Right.
Can you now say because he have to take medicine in the afternoon, he wouldn't fast,
No.
or he can fast, take the medicine in the afternoon, it doesn't break his fast?
Okay. So is that medicine requires him to be? If he doesn't take that medicine, is it going to affect his health?
No, that's what the doctor actually prescribed.
It-
And he
right.
believe that it's okay, but like you just have to be on that medication for that period. For instance, maybe people that have this like tuberculosis,
Uh-huh.
you know, they have to be on that medication, even when they are actually okay. They
Right.
just have to complete it.
Mhm.
So that's what I mean. Like in that kind of situation,
Okay. He's going to return back to if he doesn't take this medicine, is that going to leave his situation to deteriorate? If he's going to deteriorate, it's going to get worse. Then it's wajib upon him
Take the medicine.
to take the medicine. He's going to take the medicine. But if he's just a person who, the doctor prescribed him, maybe he has some issues that he can take the issue anytime. He doesn't have to, it's not constrained with the time. Then he can fast and he can take it maybe after he breaks his fast and can take it. That's the type. So the Sheikh, it says that if the sickness, it's not difficult on the person and it's not harming, then it's obligatory for him to fast. And if the sickness, meaning by him fasting, if the sickness is difficult upon him, even if it's not going to harm him, because we have two things here: either it's going to harm him or it's difficult upon him. If it's difficult upon him, but it's not going to harm him, it's disliked that he shouldn't fast.
That he shouldn't?
He should not fast. Meaning that if he's a person that has a cold and it's hard for him, by him fasting, it's really hard on him. We're not just talking like a mild hardship, right? But really, really hard upon him. Even though it's not going to harm him, it's disliked that he fasts, right? It's like, but if he fasts, he's still good. It's good. I hope that's clear, inshallah.
Yeah.
Now the third category is that if he fasts, or the sickness is difficult upon him, and if he fasts, it's going to harm him, it's haram for him to fast.
Okay.
It's haram for him to fast. Right. So then we have the person who's traveling. All right, that's the next one, right?
Yeah.
Well, a person is traveling. The Sheikh mentioned that a person who is traveling, if he intends by traveling just to avoid fasting, some people don't want to fast, so they travel. They say, I have a rukhsa, I have a excuse, so they will travel to get away from that. If a person intends to get away from fasting, or travel just to get away from fasting, then it's haram for him to travel like that. But if he's just traveling, is a legitimate traveling, then he has the excuse. He will make it up later on. Now, then he mentioned a person who's a taxi driver, a person who does a taxi, for example, or those who drive the buses, maybe the Greyhound buses, for things like that, and they travel. He said if they're traveling, like for people that they drive from here to New York, that's their job, or even farther than that, they drive 8 hours. They're bus drivers or taxi drivers. It says if it's going to be difficult upon them, if it's hard upon them, or the weather is hot, they can postpone it to another time, make up their fast another time. And essentially that's what they say about that. And also he said, وإذا قدم السافر إلى بلده في نهار رمضان مفطرا لم يصح صومه. He said ذلك اليوم. If a person just coming he's coming out of town, right? He come to town, he's traveling, he's not fasting from where he was coming from, then he can't say I'm going to start fasting now, right? It comes where he's traveling, wherever he's coming from. Maybe he's coming from Sierra Leone, for example. He landed in America, 2:00 in the afternoon. All right? He can't say, you know what? Because I haven't eaten all day, I'm going to start fasting. This is obligatory fasting, right? So he has to. His fasting is not accepted. He has to have an intention for Ramadan from. Some of the scholars said the night before. All right? Some of the scholars said the night before. The Sheikh says min tulul al-fajr, which is from before Fajr, right? A person have that intention. So that's what the Sheikh mentioned regarding that. Now,
we mentioned that the person, how some people, due to the situation, had to make up the fast after Ramadan, right?
Right.
But what if a person, like, let's say Ramadan's coming up, for example, and a person still has to
make up.
Make up.
Right.
And then the days are shortening.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the person has to make up 15 days.
Mm-hmm.
But in Ramadan, the next one's like 9 days away.
Right.
What's the situation about?
Well, usually for women or men as well, it can happen to men as well. It has to make it up. But that's why a person's supposed to make it up. You have the entire year to make it up. But it still has to make it up. If you have 9 days left, it has to make up the 9 days, and after Ramadan, it has to make the rest of them up. Now, it has to make it up. It's a responsibility upon him or her. Right. So the Sheikh said, we've mentioned 7 now, right? 7?
Yes.
7. So the 8th one, which we were starting from today, the Sheikh says, al-hahid, which is the a menstruating woman. It says, فَيَحْرُمْ عَلَيْهَا الصِّيَامِ وَلَا يَصِحُّ مِنْهَا لِقَوْلِ النَّبِيِّ صلى الله عليه وسلم. So he mentioned that basically that as for a person menstruating women, the fasting is prohibited for her. And if she fasts, her fast is not correct. Then he mentioned the hadith of the Prophet regarding in that regard. So he says, وَإِذَا طَهَرَ الْحَاهِدْ مِنْهَا وَهِيَ صَائِمَةٌ وَلَوْ قَبَلَ الْغُرُوبِ. He says that if a fasting person she's fasting, even though the Maghrib, the time of Salah is coming in, right? If it's coming in, even for 1 minute, right? Even for 1 minute, a Salah a fasting is nullified. She has to make it up, right? She's been fasting all day, and it's about maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes to break the fast, and she starts in her menstruation. She has to make that entire day up. He says, وَإِذَا طَهَرَتْ مِنَ الْحَيْضِ فِي أَثْنَاءِ رَمَضَانَ لَمْ يَصِحَّ صَوْمُهَا بَقِيَّةَ الْيَوْمِ لِوُجُودِ مَا يُنَافِي الصِّيَامَ فِي حَقِّهَا في أول النهار. So in the day, if she becomes pure during the day, meaning that she has a period, and maybe in the afternoon, maybe around 2 or 3 or 4, she found out that she's clean, then she has to make that day up, and she has to hold back. She can't eat for the rest of the day either. She has to stay away from eating for the rest of the day, and she has to make the rest of the day up. It said وإذا طهرت في الليل في رمضان ولو قبل الفجر باللحظة وجب عليها الصوم لأنها من أهل الصيام وليس فيها ما يمنع وليس فيها ما يمنعه or يمنعها. So he's saying that, the Sheikh is saying here that if she becomes pure before Fajr, it's obligatory for her to fast that day, right? It's obligatory for fast that day, and so basically that's what the Sheikh mentioned in that regard. Then he says the ninth one is المرأة إذا كانت مرضعا أو حاملا. A woman who is either she's breastfeeding or she is pregnant. A woman, it said, وخافت على نفسها أو على ولد من صوم فإنها تفطر لحديث حنس. So the Shaykh says that a woman who is breastfeeding or she's pregnant, but she's afraid for the baby, right? She's afraid that maybe, the baby that she's carrying, by her fasting, the baby can, something can happen to the baby inside, or she won't have no milk for the baby, or whatever the situation is. He says it's permissible for her to break her fast or not to fast. So he mentioned the idea of Prophet ﷺ that Inna Allah wada'a an al-musafir shatr al-salah wa an al-musafir wal-hamil wal-murdi wal-sawm aw siyam. He said Allah has basically excused the person who was fasting, or a person who's traveling, and the pregnant person and the breastfeeding person, basically from fasting, basically. Type. So number 10, it says, the number 10 is the one who is in need of saving another person, right? Who has to save another person from he needs himself. He needs himself to be able to save other person. For example, maybe a person who is a kind of rescue person. The Sheikh give a good example here. They say, a drowning person, for example. The Sheikh give an example here. And you need some sort of, you need to drink, all right, to save that next person. You need your strength, or you need energy to be able to save that other person from who's going to die. He said this is the category of that person who is permissible for him to not fast. To not fast. Because he requires the strength, or it requires him to be able to save the next person. So those are the 10 things the Sheikh mentioned. So basically, that's the end of the chapter. So now the Sheikh is going to go to the wisdom. Before we go to the wisdom, let's quickly recount how many we mentioned so far. So we mentioned the first category of those who are to fast. That's the first one. Yeah, the second was what?
A child before reaching age of puberty.
The third?
Insane
Insane person,
person.
okay.
Then you have an old person.
Okay, old person, okay.
Who,
Traveler.
No.
Not sick.
A sick person.
Yes, like
The Sheikh mentioned an ajiz, a person who just, it may not necessarily be, does not have the ability to fast.
Yeah.
Right? It may not be due to sickness or whatever, they just have the ability to fast. Right? Then you have another, number 6 is what?
that's a traveler.
Number 7 is travel. Number 6 is a sick person.
Oh,
And number 7, what do you have there? What do you have in the list? Because I'm just going by what I remember.
no. Okay, so after the old person,
Right.
oh yeah, I have the one. Yeah, after that is the one that doesn't have the ability to fast.
Who does
then-
not have the ability to fast? Okay.
Yeah.
And after that,
And then it's the sick. And then
the sick.
traveling.
Yeah, the 7 is traveler. Okay. Number 8 is what?
Number 8, that's the menstruating woman.
Uh-huh.
Also,
Number
I
9.
think 9 will be the need of saving another person.
No,
That's
no,
number 10.
that's number 10. That's number 10.
Maybe this one.
Okay, let's quickly go over it there. So we mentioned that number 1 is a person who's obligated to fast. We mentioned the 5 conditions for that.
Yeah.
The second is a child. The third is a crazy person. The fourth is al-haram, is sin now, an old person. All right. Number 5 is al-ajiz, a person who doesn't have the ability to fast. All right. And then it mentioned al-musafir. So the 61 is al-musafir. The 61 is a traveling person. The 7th is, okay, all right. So a 7th person the Sheikh mentioned there, I forgot that. He says a person who is sick, but his sickness is expected that it's going to recover from a sickness. It's expected to recover, and that's when we mentioned that this person falls into 3 categories. If this person is either, if the sickness is hard and can harm him, or it's not hard upon him, and it's not going to harm him, meaning that it's obligation to fast. He's sick, he has a mild cold, but it's not going to harm him, and it's not difficult upon him, he has to fast. And I mentioned the second one is either the second one is, of that person is difficult upon him, but it's not going to harm him. It's just like that he fasts. The third is that both of the situation happens that it's difficult upon him and it's going to harm him. He shouldn't fast. It's haram for him to fast. So that's number 7. Then number 8 is a menstruating woman. Number 9 is the breastfeeding woman. And number 10 is the one who requires he needs to break his fast so that he save another person. So that's the 10th one. So that's basically the Sheikh stopped there. Then the Sheikh is going to be talking about the wisdom of the reason why Allah, the wisdom behind fasting, basically. But we're going to stop there, inshallah. We're going to stop there. And we're going to continue from this point tomorrow, inshallah. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So that's it. Question, inshallah? You have a question?
I have a question, but it's not related.
Go ahead.